Hello guys, I know I haven't been doing any videos in a while, but been busy with some things, got a lot of work here on the server, got big plans for it, I'll come back to that later, but this time we're going to be doing a video that has nothing to do with the server, wouldn't you know, not that I ever intended to have a video like this. This time we're going to be running through my list of what I think are the top 8 creepiest gaming creepypastas. Now, if you don't like what's on my list here, don't get mad. I'm not gonna lie, there's quite a few I haven't read, and also not a lie, I'm too scared to read some of them, even though a lot of them don't really scare me too bad. So, out of the ones I've read and really know about and can say and have an opinion on that's valid, here is my top 8. Now, there's a lot of creepypastas out there. Overall, these are probably not what I'd say would be the creepiest pastas I've ever read, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm just making it the gaming ones. If you guys like this video, I'll do another one with normal creepypastas mixed, whatever. Yeah, so I'll get some input in at the end of the video, but for now, let's go ahead and start. I'll try to keep the description short and brief, and do it in somewhat of a dramatic manner. Okay, so, starting off at number 8. A great time. A young man with a suspicious power. You wouldn't know, but he's able to read people's minds. A gift? A blessing? A curse? He doesn't quite know, till one day he makes his first friend. From that fateful day, he gives a certain cartridge to the boy, and the boy plays it. On it are a number of games, and out of them all, he finds one in particular, after playing them all through. Later on, he's asked a series of questions. However, another part of his power and the drawback is that he cannot lie. And when he gets to that part of the game, he's forced to face a reality that he's not appreciating. So, okay, yeah, that was a little worded awkwardly, but I'm not going to spoil the ending. Now, this one's a little underrated. Honestly, on the official creepypasta site, it doesn't even come up under the gaming ones, but definitely look into it. As far as side notes go, this will be the only one I note on, unless it's necessary. Which brings us to number 7. Pokemon Lost Silver. I myself have always been a fan of Pokemon games, but never have I seen one that affects me in this way. Now, as far as Pokemon games go, they're pretty normal, pretty average games. Not really a dramatic change in between, but sometimes you'll have minds that can take the simplest of things and twist them into nightmarish events. And that's exactly what Lost Silver brings. It starts off with you in the Bellsprout Tower, and as you play, the unknown begin to spell out messages that have disturbing surprises in store for you. Progressively, the game gets creepier and creepier until your character fades out of reality itself. Now, there's actually a downloadable copy of this game, and it's based on the story, and it's pretty damn creepy, so I do recommend that if you're interested. Moving on to number 6, Herobrine. Anybody who's played Minecraft knows about Herobrine. Stalking the player, invading their homes, stealing their items, even somehow breaking the fourth wall of the game and invading into their dreams and lives. Is he real, or is he legend? No one quite knows. Moving on to number 5, Lunar Game. Creepypastas about games tend to be no more than stories, with the exception of this one. This game was published on Equestria Daily first, but was shortly taken down after its launch, as were the sequels of it. You play as Princess Luna from the My Little Pony franchise, as she becomes in her own nightmare. You're forced to go through a plethora of jump scares. Sorry, that one was hard to describe because it's a game. Yeah, these other ones, they're stories. This one is a physical game, and it's playable. Honestly, it scared the shit out of me, and I was playing it in a lit room, and I ended up playing them all. Creepiest part is when you finish the game, it screws up your computer, and it makes messages pop up even after you think it's closed. It's horrendous. Which moves us on to number 4. Mario. Mario games, as Pokemon games were mentioned earlier, tend to be fairly normal. One of the most famous of which was Super Mario World, which was released 1996 for the new Super Nintendo. Popular enough that it would be pirated by many, one player in particular manages to find a specific part of the game that was previously unexplored. Oh, wait, that was a different pasta. But still, it's basically the same idea as whatever I just said. Throughout the game, it seems normal, until strange messages begin to pop up, which ultimately code into the death of someone that was put into a hack. This one's very, very creepy as well, and I'm pretty sure there is a version of it that is playable, and the picture that I mentioned earlier is online, but I just can't even stand to look at it, so I'm not going to put it in the video. Moving on to number 3, Pale Luna. Pale Luna was a game that was released in the late 80s based on the text adventure genre. In the game, there were few options other than to pick up the rope, pick up the shovel, drop the gold, but of course that was only if you were experienced enough to know how to even progress in the game in the first place. The short game gives a small array of options to the player, and not much else information on how to go about playing it. Someone in particular spent hours of their time in their investigation and managed to progress the game till the ending. The ending revealed a pair of coordinates that he followed all the way to the end, and to which he found at the coordinates the skull of a girl reported missing only a year earlier. This one's pretty realistic, but I don't think it's true. Moving on to number 2, JVK1166Z.ESP. Okay, this one I'm not really gonna do any super descriptions on. Oh my god, there's something about this one. It's not necessarily that it's just scary or anything. The ending, though, it doesn't end. It leaves you to wonder what happens or why it's scary. And it's really only when you start to think about it when it really becomes scary. Is it something that's to become of something else? But who knows? It's a game that's it's a mod for Morrowind. Is it real? Is it fake? After 12 years, could something still come from this? It's said to even make the people that play the mod insane. I can tell you one thing. I read it just last night, and I had nightmares about it. It was terrible. I don't even know why. Moving on to number 1, and I'm sure everybody probably saw this coming. Bendrowned. In its own right, Bendrowned is probably the granddaddy of all gaming creepypastas, both in terms of content and maybe even the originality out of the things. Pretty much every cliched creepypasta comes from this game, and this one is really the original out of a lot of gaming creepypastas, in my opinion. It's short and sweet, it's realistic enough, not that, it's true, as I mentioned earlier. Simple. It's a simple plotline, A kid goes to a garage sale, he gets a copy of I think it's Majora's Mask, yeah, from an old man, and he plays it. And, things start to get weird from there. I can't say much more about it because, it's too good. If you've already read it, then there's not much more to say. If you haven't, I don't want to spoil it from you, so go ahead and read it now. Okay, so, yeah, all of those are pretty damn scary. Now, this is my first video doing anything like this, so I kind of made this up as I went. So hopefully it went over okay. There's a number of reasons, but I don't want to make the video drag on forever that I elected these for each of my top 8. But, yeah. Anyways, if you liked the video, I actually have my own creepypasta. I never wrote it because I remember it so fondly. The name of the story is called The Chest, and it's about this really strange series of events on a private server with me and my friends. It's actually 100% true. Not a lot of people believe me because it's so outlandish, but, that's your call if you don't want to believe me. And if you liked this video, I'll tell that story as I remember it, no script. Or I could do more top 10 videos, like more creepypastas, or better yet, since it's a lot easier for me to read something than it is to come up with things off the top of my head for just describing the story, giving what's the word? I guess I can't think of it, but giving Anyways, it's a lot easier for me to read a story than it is for me to directly tell you off the top of my head the storyline and condense it down into one little thing. So I'll take requests if anybody wants me to read a particular creepypasta. I have a strong narration voice, and I can shift my voice quite well. I have a good pace, you know, not that that's necessary to say. So yeah, and as far as the server goes, in case anybody was wondering, we're doing an overhaul, and it'll be up again in public in summer of this year, so looking forward to that. If you're interested in more videos, just give some suggestions and I'll look into it. That's all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.